Hello, hello. You know what I just realized? This is so crazy. I've been going live for a few years now, and probably the past month, I have been forgetting to introduce myself. So here we go as I turn on my lights because I'm obviously not totally ready. Hello, bonjour. My name is Denise Willerton. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in East St. Paul, Manitoba, Canada. I am thrilled that you are here. So my evening class, I did a card class this morning and it was so fun, and I should have, hang on one second, let me show you what we created. Well, and I don't have all of it, but whoops, I just about spilt my water. So we created this card. It is like a wood burning effect or a wood carving effect. Now this is with the beautiful earthen toned metallic paper, and I ran the Stays On ink across it. Now I have not obviously finished my card, but this is my card base that I am going to, for instance, let's see, put that down on, I'm thinking maybe very vanilla, maybe not. Maybe I'll go with a really light brown, or let's see, what would yeah, like a pecan pie. That would probably look stunning against pecan pie. I don't know if I have. Let me see here. Here is a pecan pie-ish panel. Let's see what that would look like against pecan pie if I used that as my card base. I think that looks stunning, so maybe that's what I'll do. But anyway, I will finish that. But this is what we created this morning, so if you missed that live, I highly, and look at, my black still isn't dry on there. I shouldn't have touched it, because now I'm going to be afraid to touch my photos. Okay, let's get that far away from me, and let's see if I can wipe my hands. I am going to use some stamping mist on my fingers and see if I can get this black off, and I likely will. Anyway, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in East St. Paul, Manitoba, Canada, and I teach card making during my live on Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. And then I try to go once a week, and now that summer's over, hopefully I will be able to go once a week. And hello, Debbie. What was I? Where was my brain, Debbie? Where was I a second ago? Yeah, so I teach card making during my YouTube, Facebook Live on Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. And then in the evening, at least once a week, I try to go live to keep up to date on my albums, which is why we are here today. And I have several more to finish because I'm hoping that this is a Christmas present, but you know what? I'm a realist, and I'm starting to think it won't be this Christmas, maybe next Christmas. Okay, so introducing myself. Okay, well, I hope I did. Anyway, I'm in East St. Paul, Manitoba, Canada. If you are interested in live card classes, I do that in our home, and I do 3 classes a month. If you do not have my newsletter and you are interested, let me know. I love to fire that your way. I also do a Christmas stack, but it is sold out. So I have 2 Christmas stack dates, and they are sold out. They're done. they're done. But I also do an album class, okay? And so I have room for, I've got 3 girls. I have room for 8, but that's a lot for an album class. But if I had to, I would. Let me show you what my next album class is. So this is for our 6x6 design paper. So the album actually measures 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. And let me show you, do I have something? Let me see. Do I have something that would look really totally awesome? I don't think I have an open packet of that. So this is just like a piece of solid design paper, but just to give you an idea how the 6x6 design paper is going to sit on that album. So this album I will be teaching, and I forget exactly when that class is, but this is my 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 album. Debbie, are you excited about this? Because I know you're coming. And I've got a few tips and tricks along the way, a few new things that I've been doing. This is one of the pocket pages that slips in. So yeah, just a little sneak peek of what we will be doing next month. Same thing, this little pocket and these flaps, this photo mat holds it all down, okay? So that is our 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo album. I mostly call it my 6x6, but anyway, let us see how far we can get tonight with Owen's book. It's going to be fun, Debbie. It's going to be very fun. That is in my bees. Okay, so I've got, I should have kept this all baby. I mean, I'm not disappointed at all, but I should have kept it all baby. Let me bring, I want to bring my tripod a little bit closer to me because I feel like when I'm working on my album, I'm so far away from myself. So I did a baby spread here and a baby spread here, and then all of a sudden we jump into this teenager who's fishing. What was I thinking? But anyway, I had already had the design paper down, so I kind of wanted to stay true to what that was all about. But you know what? We're going to go back just a little bit. I think this page is really full, but I'm going to show you a little something. So when you're creating your album, when you come to my card class and you're creating the album and you're thinking, why didn't she do that? You know, you can change it. It's your album. So for instance, what page was it that I was thinking? So this page here, okay, yeah, this is what I was thinking. For this page here, we've got this photo flap here that opens to a bigger one, and we'll probably journal around that or just decorate it. And then this flips up here. That's super full. This is full too because I've got room here for journaling. But because there's a flap here, you know what? Why don't we put one on that side? Now the album's complete, but let me show you something. I call this my afterthought, okay? My afterthought. I had, where did I put that? Maybe it fell. I thought it was sticking on something. It might have fallen, but that's okay. I will just create another one. So here is our, so I'm going to do a little bit of filling in tonight. Well, 2 things, and then hopefully I'll get a chance to pop a couple of pictures in. I did have, but I don't know where. Let's just get another one. Okay, let's find our black, and I think I've got, do I have scrap in here? Yes, I do. I have scrap in here. This is perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So Debbie, this is called my afterthought. So if you decide when you are creating one one of the albums, whether you create your own or somebody else's or one of mine, when you get to a spot like this, for instance, and if you're thinking, well, I've got this nice, beautiful, large flap here and this one here, and there's the peekaboo picture. Why didn't we put one on this side? Here's the afterthought. And sorry, I smacked my camera. Here is the afterthought. You are going to decide how deep you want or how tall you want your afterthought. Okay, so for instance, this guy here, that measures 1 inch wide, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. Because you know how we always do like a 1/2 inch score, okay? We're going to score this whole thing at 1/2 inch, like so. So now that's in there. Don't move. Let's score that at 1/2 inch. We always put our glue or our tear and tape down on the dented side, okay? So what I mean by that is, here's the dent. Oh, you can't see it. Wish my lighting was a little bit better. Oh, there it is. So see how there's the dented side? And this is the raised side. So if you touched it, you can feel that it's raised. So this is what we call the mountain side, and this is what we call the valley side or the dented side, okay? So you're going to take this 1 inch strip that we scored at 1/2 inch. This becomes our afterthought, okay? And you're going to decide, because I am going to pop an afterthought right here. Are you with me? So obviously this is, let's get totally in the camera, this is obviously too long, and I think I want my afterthought the same height as this. So we're going to just measure that out. You know my beautiful silver pencil? I don't know where I put it. And I've had that for probably 35 years. And I don't know where it is. I'm hoping it's in the RV. So I'm just going to cheat, and I'm going to do a little pencil mark right here. So there's my pencil mark. Let's cut that. I do not like to cut my black cardstock on my paper trimmer. It's very hard on the blade. So there's my pencil mark right there. So now I actually have 2 afterthoughts, okay? They're basically a hinge, is what that is. Debbie, am I making sense? Let me know, let me know. Okay, so let's carry on with our afterthought. And then I'm going to show you another little goodie that I just love. And maybe Debbie had to... Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, add to the broadcast. Debbie, do you see your comments? Let me know, and I'm going to go add to the broadcast. Oh, okay, I got it. Remove. Right, it adds it right onto, never mind. So it's so funny, Debbie. I've got your name and then your comment, and then underneath it, it says add to broadcast. I'm still learning this new system. But then beside it, it says ban. So I could ban you, I guess, but I know that you're not scamming me. So here is my dented side, and that's the side that I want my tear and tape on. So let's put some tear and tape down right here, and it doesn't matter what side, okay? It does not. There it is. Oh, okay, yeah, that's crazy. Sorry. I'm still learning this. So let's give that a fold. And let's give that a burnish. And look at, we have actually just created a hinge, okay? I'm not going to, yeah, no, I would never ban you. I would never ban you. My goodness. I'm not going to miter my corners. Reason being, when we miter our corners, oftentimes it's because that piece is the same height as the actual page, and we don't want it sticking out a little bit. But we want this in line with this. I'm going to have two flaps going either way. So here's my afterthought. So let's, where did I put my take your pick tool? Right there. Let's just start. Debbie, hang on. I'm going to move the camera up just a smidge, just so that you get a bigger shot of the table. Okay? Come on, straighten up. Straighten up. There we go. I like where I'm at. Okay, let's start just a little leg of this. So I'm going to press where nothing has been exposed, and I want to be equal with this one, and I don't want to be too close to my seam. So I think I like it right there. So let's press there where I have removed a little bit of the tape. Let's grab the rest of that. And let's just gently walk that across the page. Do you see where I'm going? So there is my afterthought. Let's measure this panel here, or I could look back on my sheet, but I don't have it. So this is 4 3/4 by, let's say 6. So 4 3/4 by 6. Let's get our paper cutter out. I shouldn't have put that totally away. 4 3/4 by 6. Let's get a brand new sheet of paper. So 4 3/4 is the height, by 6 is the width, or it could even be smaller if you want. Now, because my afterthought is already a hinge, I'm not worried about putting a hinge on there because I already have my hinge. So now what I would do is, yeah, what was I thinking? That's not 4 3/4. You know, I thought it looked big. I thought it looked big. Because I measured and I said 4 3/4, but you know what? It's not. It's 4 1. I said 4 3, didn't I? It's 4 1. So let's just 4 1/4. Voila. That makes more sense. Debbie, it's just you and I, my dear. I hope I don't bore you to tears and that this is going to be, you know what? We don't want to miter the bottom, but we want to miter the top because there's going to be a smidge sticking out. So miter just one section, either the top or the bottom, and then whatever you didn't miter becomes the bottom. So now that's not going to peek through, okay? We're going to put adhesive down on here, and let's put, because we are working right directly on our album, let's put a piece of protector down, okay? So you can use tear and tape or glue, and has anybody seen my glue? I don't know if I have any left in here. It's not coming out. So Debbie, how was your summer? How was your summer at the lake? I hope you had a great summer. I feel like we were gone a lot, but it was good. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back in my studio. Let's see if I, yay. Okay. I am just moving it around now. I'm not putting more down. I'm just spreading it out. I don't want to remove that paper because I don't want glue all over my album. So I'm going to keep it tucked in. What you don't want to do, I just did. Let's hold that down. There we go. And down it goes. Let's give that a good burnish. And what we have just done is we have just created an afterthought flap. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that nice though? Quiet is good. Quiet is good. So now we have actually room for another photo. And we're going to stay in that baby theme. Now, I don't like the border that they give you when you order photos and you say, yeah, put a border on there. Don't know why I did that. Let's cut that off. Let's cut that off. Little trimmer, where are you? Little trimmer. Okay. Let's cut that off. And let's move you out of the way. Work smarter, not harder, right? Yeah, isn't that neat? So, I mean, you can look at your album, even if pictures are in there. I don't want any white. So let's cut that all off. And then we're going to dry fit it onto, I'm cooking. We're going to dry fit it onto that panel. And take it from there. And then I will add my own border. 2 photos, front and back. But wait, I have more. And I mean, even with that afterthought, Deb, okay? So we did that hinge. Now let's say you wanted more than just another flap. We could have kept it really long and then scored it in half, and it would have been an opening flap. Do you know what I mean? We could have done that as well. Get your trash off your table so that you don't bury yourself. I'm learning to take the time to put things away right away. so things don't go missing, okay? Because I've learned that the hard way. Okay, so here's my photo, and I'm going to put a white mat down on there. Now, it's not the exact size of the photo, but I don't mind. So, pardon me, you can put it right down on the black, but watch what happens when we put it on the white. So I'm going to measure the black. So that is 4 1/4. Debbie, I'm counting on you because my brain hurts. 4 1/4 by 6. Okay, so 4 1/4 by 6. We're going to get a white mat. Let's see what we've got here. This looks like it will work. So 4 1/4 by 6. I'm over here back on there. That's going to work. So 4 1/4. I want about 1/8 of an inch on either side. So there's 4 1/4. So why don't I go 4 1/8? And so then it would be 5 7/8. And I've done that too. Or I'm yelling at the computer, right? No, no, no. Don't put that down yet. I've done it. I've done it all, my friend. Okay. So by 6, so let's go 5 7/8. Okay. Nodding. Been there, done it. 5 7/8. And then we're going to dry fit and we're going to see. So I took a little bit off first because I'd rather take off a little less than having taken off more. So here's my afterthought. And look at that. It's perfect. So what did I say that was? I said that was, it was 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. Is that what I said? Yep, by 4 1/8. So then what you would do is you would just very quickly cut another one the same size, okay? And I'm not going to put this down yet because I want those measurements for the other side, and I'm not going to do that right away. Okay, so let's just put down removable. So 4 1/8 by 5 7/8 gives us our mat. And this is not Stampin' Up! Paper. This is just inexpensive. Well, it's the higher quality, but it's the Staples cardstock, okay? And so see how my mat is way bigger than my photo, but it looks so much nicer. And I feel like I'm not square to my table. And I don't know why, but that bothers me. Is that better? So, so that's going to go down like that. Or you could even, if you wanted, you could even put that down like really thin and even on the top and bottom, and then do something down here, which I think I'm going to do because I kind of like that. So here's our little afterthought. Now all you would do here, Deb, is you would take a piece of design paper. Do I have something kicking around? And probably not, because I didn't think I would be doing that. Well, let's see. What do we have here? This is not the right design paper, but you would just take a piece of design paper and you would just put it down there. Okay, so for instance, let's pretend and let's just do it. So the height of this was 4 3/4, so we're going to go 4 1/8 again. Okay, so 4 1/8, and then That's a good place for it. Let's use our paper trimmer here for this. I love using my paper trimmer on my design paper. So we scored a 1/2 inch here. So we're going to go a little less than 1/2 inch. So we're going to go, where am I? There's my 1/2 inch. So we're going to go 3/8 of an inch by 4 1/8. Don't move. Now I'm not going to put this down because it's the wrong color, but I just want to give you an idea of what you would do with your afterthought hinge. So you would cut your piece of design paper. Let's put it down that way. And so now you've got a tiny little black border around that whole thing. Isn't that so sweet? And then on this side, you would have this. So if I put removable on here so you get a better visual of it, you would just eyeball kind of center. So do you see what you would do there with that? Isn't that gorgeous? Yes, and you know what? I have been forgetting to, but yes, I love to dust or scuff or whatever you want to say your edges, okay? So that's what you would do with your afterthought. So there's our little afterthought hinge, okay? I love it. I love it. Now, if you wanted, you could even, when you're putting this hinge down, I could have even come in a little more, and I should have, okay? So I'm glad I'm doing this. I can't remove it now. I doubt. Yeah, I'm going to tear it. So when we close this up, see how this is peeking through here, Debbie? If you didn't want that peeking through, what you would do is you would use the edge of this to let you know where you're going to put down your afterthought hinge, okay? So there's a hinge, okay? And so that picture's not down, but at least I know I'm going to do that. And I've got room for one more other picture of when Owen is really little. So I'll probably do something like that and something like that. So there's one more place for a photo. Okay, I love that. Now let me show you another little thing, and you're going to love this. This is so cool. So this is an index card, okay? So we're going to create it in black, but I created one in white, kind of as my my prototype, okay? And let me walk you through my reasoning for my sizes, okay? Because if you come across a picture and you decide that you want to do this, but your picture is a different size, this is all you would do. So, for instance, look at these brothers. Like, come on, how do I not put this in the album? So cute. For instance, let's get rid of the white first of all. Let's get rid of the white. And I'm going to walk you through that process. And so I'm really not doing a whole lot with the album tonight other than like afterthought and index card. But you're going to love this. So you're going to cut your picture down or not if your picture is already the size that you wanted. Basically what you're going to do, and I always do this on either computer paper or my Staples paper, okay? So let's start with, let's just use computer paper. Let's see, what do I have here? This is an old, oh my goodness. When I first started, this is like, look how old that is. Crazy. So what I do is I get a piece of scrap paper, and sometimes I hang on to these. If I think I'm going to forget how I've done this, sometimes I will hang on to it. So I'm going to measure the width of my picture. So my picture is, let me get a better shot at that. My picture is, for argument's sake, 3 3/4, okay? So 3 3/4, and I know I want to score 1/2 inch on either side. So basically I'm adding another inch, okay? So my 3 3/4 becomes 4 3/4 by the height of my card. So this is the width and this is the height. The height of my card is, no, that was the width. Sorry, I'm tired. The height of my card, for argument's sake, is 5 3/4, okay? So 5 3/4. But I'm not scoring on both sides. I'm only scoring on one side. So I want to add 1/2 inch to that. So 5 3/4, if I add a 1/2 inch, brings me to 6 1/4. Did that make sense? I hope so. So there becomes part of my index card. Okay, so let's cut that down to size so that you can see exactly where I'm going with this. I'm sorry. I smacked you right in the head, Deb. I gotta watch that. I'm very dangerous. So we are gonna cut, let's go this way. We're gonna cut 4 3/4, okay, by 6 1/4. Debbie, did that make sense? By 6 1/4. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to score, score, and score 1/2 inch all around, okay? So that's how I arrive at, let's not hit the camera. That is how I arrive at this. Debbie, I'm so sorry. Okay, so these measurements are a little bit different because I used a different photo, okay? So you're going to measure the width and you're going to add an inch, and then you're going to measure the height and you're going to add 1/2 inch. And there's your added inch and there's your 1/2 inch, okay? You score on the 3 sides, okay? So there's part of your index card. The other part of your index card becomes this width and a little bit less. So I cut this 3 5/8 by 5, okay? Now, we don't want these on the inside because we're creating a pocket and we don't want any resistance. So what we're going to do is we are going to put this down here. Our tear and tape goes here, and this is going to get covered this way. But then there's design paper that goes down on here. So you're not going to see any of this. And now when things are coming in and out of your index pocket, nothing is getting hung up because all of these edges are over top. Okay, so let's create this in black and I will show you what I mean. So we're going to get a nice piece of black paper. Is this going to be big enough? And it's not. We're cutting another piece, and that's fine because I'll use that for something else. So this little prototype here, I created this out of my Staples paper, and I will hang on to this so that I'm not, yeah, it'll always be there, providing that your picture, actually, is my picture going to fit in there? Ooh, just. So when this is closed, my picture just fits in there, okay? Now you can even do another smaller score line above that and kind of make it a little, what am I trying to say here? A little more dimensional, okay? So let's see what we come up with here. So we're going 4 3/8. Don't smack Debbie in the head again, Denise. There we go. I'm a little more careful. So 4 3/4, I mean. So we're creating the base with the flaps. 4 3/4 by 5 1/2. And if you feel that you're making them too small, just make it a smidge bigger. Now this piece of scrap is big enough. So there's one. So we're going to take this one here, and my index card is telling me that I want it 5 inches tall. So let's cut at 5, and I want 3 5/8 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 is right here, like so. The cutting is done. Now we need our scoreboard, which I put, where did I put it? Wow. Does this happen to you too? I had my scoreboard in my hand a minute ago. Here it is. On 3 sides, we are going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. And 1/2 inch. Now if I pull this in just a 1/64 of an inch on that side and on this side, I have probably created my pocket, see that? So that it's just a smidge wider. So there's the dented side, and so I want my adhesive on the dented side. We're going to miter those corners. Okay, scissors. Everything's usually hiding under something. Fold these down, make sure nothing is overlapping. You want nice clean. And I want to try and get both of these score marks activated. That's perfect, and that is almost perfect. Let's see if I can get both of those activated. Okay. We are going to take this, and I am going to see with the dry fit where we are at. And that just pushed it up just a smidge. We're gonna trim. My goodness, we're gonna trim just a smidge off one end. Like just a 1/64 of an inch. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a 1 1/4 inch punch, okay? So once you start punching and rounding corners and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you're always using the same one. So when I cut my design paper to decorate this, I want to make sure that I'm also grabbing my 1¼ inch punch. Now this is the old style of how Stampin' Up! Used to sell their punches, okay? So I actually made a line here and here, okay? And what that line is showing me is that that is the center of my circle. So I'm going to eyeball either side of this to try to make sure that I'm perfectly even on both of these sides, and I'm using those lines to tell me where I'm at for half of my circle, and I'm right about there. So there's the index that we just created, okay? And it just adds some really neat interest into the book, okay? So again, another dry fit. We want to make sure that everything is looking good, and I'm still a tiny bit tall. I'm going to cut down from the bottom because I don't want to disrupt my circle. So we're going to take just a smidge off more. So I want to go about 4 and what would that be? 15/16. Is that what that is? Right there. Boom. That's all I've done. We are not going to decorate this unless I have some design paper right smack in front of me that's going to work. But I don't think I do. Okay, loving my dry fit. Loving it. Okay, I'm going to put tear and tape down on these flaps, and I'm going to go close to that edge rather than close to my my score. Okay, so see how I'm closer to the top. Let's rip that off at the angle. My angle is already there, so we'll put that down on this side. Debbie, when does your dog training start again? Are you doing that again this fall? And then nice and close to the top, like so. So little things like this, I don't teach during my class because it's just too much. But that's where these videos are great, because then you come and you learn a few more tricks. Okay, so I'm going to remove a little bit of the leg, and let's get that placed in there. We're kind of dry fitting, and I like it, so I'm not going to move anything. Down that goes. Give that a burnish. I'll see if I can find some design paper real quick and at least get this decorated so you can see the beauty of it once it's done. Okay. You know how I was saying earlier? Oh, okay. Yeah, just the first few, hey? Because you're still out there. And that's where you want to be. So I was saying a little earlier how for the most part, I try to put things away right away so I don't lose things. Look at that. Love, love, love. Well, I didn't put this away, and sometimes there's numbers on there. I don't know where this guy belongs. So I'm just going to have to sit down with my dies. It would be a current one, so it's not going to be that scary. Let me see if I can, maybe. What is this? No, that's not going to work. Ooh, maybe something in here will work. I'm just not sure that these colors go with the book. Well, pretty close. pretty close. Ooh, I like that side. Full of pacifiers and stuff, but I think I prefer that. So let's measure this the cheater way. Oh, I know, it's so cold. You know what we did today? We turned the heat on in the house. I don't think I've ever had the heat on in the house in September. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have used that as my template before I put it down. Well, and you know what I want to do, actually? I want that on both sides. So there we go. Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I don't know. Where is it? I don't know if this is still available. I love this set. Just a note. I love it. It's so great. And it comes, let me see, I think it's a bundle. Let me see. Nah, I thought it was a bundle, but maybe it is, and I just haven't put it away properly. Haha. Again. Okay. But yeah, you're exactly right. Okay, little cutter, where did you go? Let's cut that down with our pencil marks. Okay, so I am about a little less than 3 3/4. And on that side, I am just a little less than 5 inches. So here are all of those seam marks, right? So that's going to go down like so. And we're going to give that, am I making sense here? Or do I have to go a little further? No, I need to use this as my template because I'm going to mess it up. I just know it. I just know it, and I don't want to put this down quite yet. Okay, so that's going to go down like that, and then that gets cut, and then this is going to go down. Oh, you know what? I think I need that one just a smidge bigger in order to fit properly. So let's see if we can manipulate that. I might have to think this through. I think I need a bigger punch in order to make that, and I do. So I would need a bigger punch. But anyway, this is how you would put that down. So I'm going to find my next size, and I'm going to cut that, and then once it's down, see how it hides all of this, and then all you would do is you would find, would you not attach it first and then, no, I wouldn't, because of what we just ran into. So if this is a 1/4 inch punch, the one that I want would be 1 3/8, and I think I have a 1 3/8. But I have to go get it. And so I might have just mucked up this piece of design paper. Hang on, I'm going to go see if I've got a 1 3/8. I know where it is. But here's the thing. How do I line that up? This side here is good. So here's my 1 3/8, and I want to find my center on here. So about right there. So let's see what happens. I want that side up. So I like that. So I'm going to use that as, I don't know, we're going to find out, Debbie. We're going to find out. Drum roll. Our camping trips were awesome. Oh my goodness, look it. There it is. 1 3/8. So it's just a smidge smaller, which is what we wanted. I can actually take like just a sliver. So you don't want the same size. Thank goodness I'm a punch addict and I bought it all. Yeah, our summer was great, Deb. We had lots of really great camping. I'm happy to be home. I'm happy to, I mean, I love camping and I love the RV, don't get me wrong, but I'm happy to be home now. And I can probably spare another little clip off. Yeah, we did lots. We did lots. We did more than I thought we would. And kind of a little bonus trip was somebody had posted on Facebook that they had a reservation at Falcon Lakeshore, and we had never been there before. And they gave up their reservation. So I know there's a site open if anybody's interested. And I'm like, oh, let's see what happens. And I grabbed the site. Let's dust the edge. Okay, let's dust the edge. And actually, you know it's a really good idea? Do not put this down until you find your design paper for the other side. Oh no, because it's going to be... Oh, yeah, I guess it just depends. You just need to be aware that because it's probably not perfectly centered, that it's going to be the opposite side. So I would advise, if you're going to cover both sides, do not adhere this down until you find this design paper and make sure you do all your markings, and then down it goes. So I'm not going to until I find my design paper for the other side. But it's already 8 o'clock, so I'm going to scoot. I'm going to go hang out with my man. And Debbie, thank you for hanging out with me. It's been so fun. And maybe what I'll do on the other side is something like this. It's kind of the wrong blues for the rest of my book, but I'll finish that tomorrow. But I'm going to go hang with Dean. And I will see you, my friend, at the next card class whenever it is that you're coming. So happy travels, be safe, be warm, get your heater going, cuddle up with your puppies, and have a lovely evening. Have a blessed weekend, Debbie. We will see you shortly. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. Talk to you.